Nestling beneath the North York moors is the village of Thornton-le-Dale. And for over 30 years, it's been the home of the Mathewsons. A dynasty of dealers with a love of classics.
They just have a personality, there's just something about them.
In all shapes and sizes.
Well, it is the best job ever, really, isn't it?
A passion that can be turned into brass. They auction over 4,000 rare vehicles every year.
Start me on it, we're going to be with it.
Most people will go to a sale with something in mind, but come away with something different.
Something's either got it or it hasn't.
It's what they fall in love with on that day.
There's head of the family, Derek.
What a runner. Smooth as silk, this car.
Trusted lieutenants, sons Paul.
Working with your family, it has its ups and its downs. God, blimey.
And Dave.
I bet you £1 it doesn't start.
The fun is the chase.
Morning, Mathewsons.
You just don't know what's on the end of the phone, what you're going to find when you open them doors.
Spot on.
That's the find of the century. It's the real deal.
Just never really 2 days exactly the same.
This is a family's love affair with motors that have lived a life.
There's a story behind every car in this building.
Testing, testing.
Most people will buy a car because they can relate to it, maybe a car that Dad had. We're selling dreams.
Right, here we go.
On sale this week.
1962 Ford Zodiac Farnam estate.
It's unrestored. It's an original.
Smashing in every respect. Triple carburetors. Can't want any more.
Little Toledo, proper little car, bonny little thing.
It was bought for my mother in 1975. She never drove it very far. It's only got 100 miles on the clock.
Fastest milk float in the West, probably.
I can drive anything from a tank to a steamroller, but I've never driven a milk float before. But it's always the first time.
As usual, there's a mesmerising array of vehicles at the Mathewsons garages. They end up here for a number of reasons. Some are completed projects.
Lots and lots of guys have no interest in driving them, full stop. It's just taking a banger and making it something desirable.
Others have been abandoned.
It's perhaps not until they get really into it, you know, 9 months, a year later, that they think, oh, this is more of a project than I thought.
And there are the owners who are no longer able to look after their much-loved classics.
That's Bonnie, isn't it? But he's did a nice job of that, isn't he, all told? What is it?
Today, Derek's not only excited about his bacon sandwich, but also the prospect of collecting a very rare car.
Right, a nice lady's been on the phone with a Zodiac. Mark II Zodiac Farnam estate. How about that?
The Zodiac was the posh version of the popular Ford Zephyr, and in estate form, it would be easier to find an actual hen's tooth.
Two-tone blue, stored in a cocoon.
Not one to pass up an opportunity, on his way down to Hertfordshire, he'll be delivering a Daimler, a Jago Model T, an A55 Cambridge, and an electric scooter. It's 6 years now since Iris Smith's husband, Mick, passed away. They'd known each other since they were children.
He was always smiling, my Mick. Always. He trained as an engineer at the local steel foundry. Always liked his cars.
It would be fair to say that Mick was a bit obsessed with Ford Zodiacs.
I just think he thought that they were well designed. This is our Mark I that we bought. That'd be about 1965. Beautiful car, weighed a ton to drive with a column change. That's a Zodiac convertible. He'd go down to Sainsbury's with the boiler suit on, and I used to say, don't go down like that, you'll see everybody. He said, I don't care, he says. He liked the Ute pickup, that had a V8 engine in it. He thought when you were in it, you thought you were going to fly. You were coming down a hill. You thought any minute now you're just going to take off because it was so fast.
Mick's garage once housed 4 cars, all of them Zodiacs or Zephyrs.
So it's man cave. Used to listen to his music and potter around with the cars and polish up the chrome. You know, he just loved just tinkering in here.
Now there's just his favourite one left, the 1962 Farnam estate.
Mick's attention was caught by the fact that he was the second owner, and the first owner had the car for 25 years in a lock-up in London, because he knew that it's unrestored, you see. It's an original.
So what sort of things did Mick do at it then, if it's still original?
Polish the chrome. If it did get wet, he'd leather it down, all under the arches and everything. You know, he was very precise. He liked it right. That was Mick, you know, he liked things right. He's over there in his box on the bench with his cap on. That's his toolbox over there from when he was an apprentice. There's his overalls there. Oh dear, bless him, yeah.
And he'd be pleased that he's in his garage with his cars, would he?
Oh, definitely. He liked to be in the garage when it was raining. I don't know why, but he liked it when the rain was on the roof, so...
Iris has taken the Zodiac for the odd service, but apart from that, it's sat here in the garage, just as Mick left it.
When you open them up, they've always got a sort of a leathery smell, and when you shut the doors, they always go sort of a certain click to them.
Mick fitted a rare aquaplane triple carb system to give the engine a bit more pull, but apart from that and some bigger wheels, he left it more or less as is.
He needs someone to love it and show it off and, you know, take a bit of pride in it. It's not doing that in here, it's just vegetating, you know. It's someone that will enjoy it and get pleasure out of it, because Mick used to get pleasure out of it, you know. So it'd be lovely to see it move on.
Derek's arrived. It's not his first time here. He called in briefly to look at the car a few weeks ago. It was then that he found out that Iris isn't very well. This is what's prompted the sale.
Hello, Iris. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
But it don't matter too much,
Don't
does
worry,
it? Days
don't
our
worry.
own, innit? We ain't got to worry too much, have we?
No.
No. How long's it stood?
2 years.
Oh, it'd go, wouldn't it?
That'll go. Well, my man from the garage reckons it's a goer. He
Yeah.
reckons it'll go.
Because it'd be a lot easier if it will. Otherwise, we've got to have a hell of a long rope, haven't we? Anyway, we'll just see, shall we? You never know, do you? Might just burst into life, mightn't it? Be a bonus if it does, mate, wouldn't it? It won't be far away, I can assure you that. Well, I think without having distributor cap off and flicking points and messing on, I think she could be a pusher. First time she's seen the light of day for a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Ah, she's lovely.
Looks nicer outside than in there. Lovely chrome all on it and everything. Very Art Deco, isn't it? With the, it's like a plane and a bit there. Very Art Deco.
Second time I've seen it, of course. Look at the condition of them headlamp nurseries. Look at them. They're lovely, aren't they? Monkey metal, of course, but they're hardly picked up. Ambassador blue. They're very often two-tone Zodiacs, but I mean, I know it would have been an optional extra at the time. He put that on, didn't he?
I don't know, I can't remember.
He would have done.
Yeah.
It's a late one, that is.
Yeah.
It's proper. Lovely car.
Yeah. Is that the petrol tank in there?
In there, love, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is. There it is in there.
Okay,
yeah. Little fella. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to have a little bit of a laugh, really. You pull in the petrol station and like say, like, put some in, and like, you know, and looking around like, where's the cap? Where's the cap gone? Like, yeah. Don't get many like this. Look at that lovely dashboard, not a crack in it. A little bit of wear on the seat, but it's trying to be expected. Lovely, absolutely lovely. She goes. Runs nice and free, doesn't it? If you've got in your head about buying a 50s or a 60s Ford estate car of some description, you'd have to go and buy this, wouldn't you? It's perfect, isn't it? It's the business. It's hard to value because we ain't got an awful lot to go by, but I'd have said 15, 20, because you cannot replace originality. They're only original once, and this is original. Beautiful car. Right, well, I hope you get on all right.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah, keep cracking on.
I'll keep
That's all you
cracking.
can do, innit?
Yeah, so it's off it goes, little car.
Yeah, but don't
Have a
get too
nice
upset,
life.
because you're doing it the
No,
right way
I'm not
round.
go-
You know,
I'm not
there's-
going to get upset about
there's no, you know, because let's face it, you're only putting off evil day, aren't you?
I know.
But
I
no,
know,
you do.
I know it'll go to a good home. Somebody will want it.
Oh, it will,
Yes,
don't you
somebody
worry.
will want it. I'll see you, see you around.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Okay, my love.
All right,
yeah.
mate.
Take
See
care.
you later.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Yeah, bye-bye. All gone.
Dave's knocking about in the Midlands on a double collection in Wolverhampton. He doesn't know it yet, but this afternoon he'll have the joy of trying to extract a 70s classic from this isolated tent. But first, thanks to Stephen Salmon, a hot hatch destined for the Hall of Fame.
Hello, Dave.
Stephen?
It is, yeah.
How you doing, mate? We're on here, aren't we?
Are we doing this?
Are you all right?
I'm very well, thank you
Good
very
lad,
much.
well done. Good to see you.
No, nice to meet you, thank you very much. This has been its home for 5 to 6 years.
Looks nice, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant, mate. Fire it up there, Steve. We'll
Okay.
have it outside. Let's have a,
Will do.
have a butcher's out there. Super. Looks a nice car, that, Stevie. So they didn't produce them in vast numbers. A V6 four-wheel drive Golf, basically. Yeah, called an R32. So yeah, nice thing they are. Quite sought after. Yeah, okay, Steve, fine. Yeah, you're okay. You're all right. You're good. Well, while you're in it, Steve, you might as well put it on the truck for me.
Oh, brilliant.
I'll watch you on. Yeah.
The R32 first appeared in 2002. It had a 6-cylinder engine, 4-wheel drive, and was the first production car to have a twin-clutch gearbox. Volkswagen may never have bothered with it, but the press didn't like the Mark IV Golf GTI. So as a face-saving exercise, they produced a mighty hot hatch that gave the rest of the field a run for their money. The heavy 3.2-litre engine made it a tad challenging around the corners, and some buyers would have preferred a massive spoiler on the back as opposed to the conservative Golf styling, but most would agree it's now very much a modern classic.
Yep. Keep coming. Brill.
Okay.
That'll do there for now. Yeah, great.
Super.
This R32 is 18 years old. Stephen hasn't revealed his age.
I did have it as a little bit of a treat for myself to mark a particular occasion.
For his 21st, that's what he's
Yeah. Yeah, and then some. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit of a Sunday driver in all fairness. I rarely drive fast.
What a lovely car. Makes a nice change to see one as good as that. Proper car, look, nice. Yeah. Presentation and that, I mean, look at it, it's lovely, and it's dead straight. Panels are nice, fits are nice, no chips, wheels are stunning. Yeah, do real well. The last proper Golf, really. You know, they all went a bit electronic after this. I'd be disappointed if he didn't do 10K.
Waiting on the other side of town, John Wotton, and on tractor duty, Robert Baxter. The tractor's being moved in order to reveal this rare barn find in a tent that has a remarkably low mileage.
We got a Triumph Toledo that was bought for my mother in 1st of December 1975. After we'd had it, she never drove it very far. It's only got 100 miles on the clock. She had the car so she could have freedom, but eventually she had other people drive her around, just like a proper lady. It's in fairly decent condition. The inside's pretty immaculate. It's just a bit on the bodywork, and obviously the chrome needs attention.
Oh, you've left the keys in.
Yeah, the battery's not connected though.
Proper 70s knobs, look.
The dashboard looks absolutely immaculate. There's no rust, corrosion or anything inside on any of the chrome work.
This is the shopping car, isn't it, really? Trundle along, clock the miles up.
Or apparently not in this case. However, there's a surprise in store for John.
Well, that says 27,975 miles, but that ain't what's on there. It's been driving backwards. Certainly not been far anyway. Service every year.
The new evidence points, not surprisingly, to a faulty odometer.
Here he comes.
Dave's arrived, and he's about to discover this is one of those jobs that he was just a bit busy to do himself.
These are the drive people.
Yeah. Do. Oh, blimey, right. It's right round here, is it?
Hey?
It's right round here, is it? Ah, there it is in there. Right, I see.
We've moved the tractor out.
We're going to need the tractor to pull it out.
Well, it's no problem.
Yeah. Brilliant. Like, as John will know, they only had used about half a litre of paint on all over it, John, didn't they? If they put proper paint on, she wouldn't have. She'd have kept even better. But anyhow, I reckon. Right, so form a bit of a plan. This is going to be a bit wet for my truck in here, John.
Right.
So she'll end up bogging down. Yeah. Let me just give it a bit of thought. This. We're going to have to come in backwards.
Right.
I'm going to leave my trailer down there. I'll pull up out the way. If we can then tow the Toledo round on line here, and then we'll get the tractor out the way somehow.
There's definitely some sort of plan afoot.
Always like to do a recce first. I knew this was going to go peak, Tom. As long as we can turn around without writing anything off, we'll be okay.
She should slide on this anyway.
Yeah, a bit of luck it will, won't it? Yeah.
It's always been something that I was one day going to rebuild, but that isn't going to happen now. I've moved on.
Well, we're going to go round there first, are we? And then tow it up forward. Yeah. I'll follow you.
This one brake's stuck on. Very interesting, it's great. See it on the move again. I miss using my engineering brain and my hands. I'm a practical man, really. These are all working, it's that one that isn't.
Anyone would think I'd done that before, wouldn't they?
The Toledo is probably only worth about 1,500 quid, but that's not really why they're putting all this effort into it.
I could have called up a local scrap dealer or whatever, but no, it's too good for that.
Someone will take it back to where it was. Probably just a really good clean, paint the roof, paint one or two of these little bits and pieces around it, and then leave it at that, I would. Try and keep that originality. Are you all right?
That's the lady of the house.
I guessed it must be.
It's been a successful extraction given the circumstances. Now it's business as usual for Dave and John, who's happy with his decision to rehome his mum's Toledo.
I shan't be upset at all, because I know it's going to go and somebody will restore it and love it as it ought to be. I have a saying that when they've read the last paragraph in a book, you close the book. And it's their time to close this particular book.
Back at the garage, the much-loved Zodiac from 1962 has been causing a bit of a stir.
Yeah, a lot of interest. Massive amount of interest.
I've always liked them.
Yeah.
And it will be ideal for someone like myself, self-employed paint decorator.
Graham Hindle from Bolton has been looking for a new company car for a while. So Bubbles goes into sales mode.
Would you actually use it as a working vehicle?
It's got to be a worker and luxury vehicle as
Yeah.
well.
Have a look inside.
Zodiac
Crawl
meetings,
inside if
Stephen,
you
cheers. Oh, hi. This is nice, isn't it? Where are we going to? Blackpool?
want. No, can't stand the place.
Fantastic car. Love it.
It has the makings of a nice painter and decorator's car.
Exactly. Does it suit me, Bubbles? What do you think?
Does it suit you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A car like this, though, is not going to be cheap.
I know the motor's worth 15 grand because of the rarity and the condition of it, the originality and such like. Smashing in every respect. Got the Raymond May cylinder head, triple carburetors, conversion. Can't want from any more. So we'll see. 15 grand. Watch this spot. Having said that, I've got quite a bit of control over it because I'll be auctioning it. So I wouldn't ever bet against an auctioneer if I were you. Here we have 1962 Ford Zodiac Farnam estate. Wonderful car, don't miss it. Once in a lifetime. Start me on it. Where are we going to be? Where? 10 we're off. 10, 11, 12, 13, 13,000, 13. 13, 14, 14,000 and away, 14. 14,500, 15, 15,000, 15. 15,500, 15,500. Don't miss this car. You will not find another like it for 20 years. You can't find them anywhere, let alone in this condition. 15,500, 16.
16,500.
16,500, 16, you're out, Mark.
17.
17, 17,000 on my right. 17, you're out, David, you're out on the internet. 17, in the hall, 17. Gonna submit it then, 17. 17.
The Zodiac does even better than Derek's estimate. It's sold to a Ford fan in Peterborough, who reports that he could only afford a Mini when he was young, but always hankered after something with a bench seat. It's the morning after auction day. They're always full on as vehicles head off to their new homes.
Hello, Mathewsons.
You all right? You okay?
Organisation is key, you know.
Can we help you, mate?
Yeah, we're here to pick this up.
Oh, are you? Oh, there you go. Then jump in it.
Paul, lots of cars going out today.
No, not today. Oh, yes, yeah. Two big lorries.
Sorry, do you work here?
Yeah.
Haulage contractor Dave Francis is one of a team of people making deliveries to new owners.
Dave, how long have you been dealing with the Mathewsons?
Oh, a long time now.
And it's always this organised, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
He has a transporter arriving shortly, but no idea where the cars are that are going on it.
Who are you ringing, Dave?
Phoning Derek, there we are.
I'm just carrying some money. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay, Derek, no probs.
All right, mate. Tell me a minute.
I might be able to tell you. Yeah.
Good.
So, Anna, is there a method?
Yeah, just click on the website and it'll tell you where they are.
So Dave could have actually been drinking tea and clicking on the website and didn't know where they were.
Yeah, but now that I'm doing it, he could go and make a cup of tea.
All right. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. I don't think we'll need that.
Local businessman John Scoley has wisely decided to pick up his vehicle himself.
Watch it, you nearly had my fingers then.
He's had E-types and other exotica in the past, but today's classic is a bit of a diversion.
We've come to collect a Wales and Edward milk float.
Decked out in his Unigate livery, it was renovated by a man who used to help deliver milk around Streatham when he was a boy.
Fastest milk float in the West, probably. 6,000.
John plans to rebrand it to promote his new business.
We own trout farms, and Jane, my partner, has this idea to possibly sell trout fillets, and we're going to smoke trout.
Should sneak out of there, I think. Can I have a pint of gold top?
Guten Morgen, manieren, as they say in Holland. Oh, good morning, Paul.
It's heavy, you know.
Do you reckon 3 ton? Wow.
Yeah, I would think so, John.
I was guessing when Paul Mathewson said to me it was heavy. I said to Jane, I'm presuming he means it's 3 ton. But yeah, Paul's going to show me What with the machine, because we've never had one of these before, I can drive anything from a tank to a steamroller, but I've never driven a milk float before. Are you going to pull it out, Paul?
Yeah, we'll shove forward a bit, eh, and then we can see what's what. That onto there. That one onto
wheel
there.
hard, Paul, yeah.
Which way are we pointing, John?
Is it?
Straight.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Can't hear it running, can you? All right, Ernie.
Ernie, aye. Yeah. Oh, she got some good brakes. Yeah, no, there's just them couple of boxes there, but...
All right.
I don't know, A, if there's room.
That'll secure it down, won't it? That charger.
Yeah. Now, he said he'd never used that charger. All he's ever had is a 24-volt charger and put it on a block of batteries at a time. They're 2-volt batteries, he says. If you would took that link off of there, then you could charge them 6 there, yeah.
I'm letting Paul have the pleasure of backing it on, because I know what a good driver he is.
What's handling like, you know?
Do you know what? It's all right. It feels quite a nimble little thing.
Yeah, come on, Paul, straight up.
You got a winch, then?
Yeah, we've got winch if we need it. This way a touch. Come on, keep it coming. Yeah, come on, come on. Steady.
Left hand, go keep that.
Steady. Whoa.
How's that, John?
Yeah, you're about dead square at that. Brilliant, that. I think we're all right. I'm quite pleased with it, actually. Say it's in very good condition. I think you'd have a long way to find one in the condition of this one. Paul showed me how to charge it. It is a bit of a different system for charging. But yeah, we'll sort it. No problem.
With his 70s milk float, John's now proud to be part of the eco-revolution.
We're going electric, 80 miles on one charge of batteries. Good for clean air, clean green energy.
The ultra-conservative 1975 Triumph Toledo has now found itself in a quiet corner at the Pickering site. Derek's not massively enthusiastic about it, and he hasn't even received the internal memo about the mileage cock-up yet.
100 miles from you.
Does that make it any better?
Well, it makes it a lot more saleable, no doubt about that, but we're back to the old thing again, aren't we? The old mileage thing. I suppose you can take it up to 1,000, but then again, can you? So I don't know, mate, really. It's a hard one, isn't it? It's hard to say.
What, mileage?
Yeah.
It's done 30,000.
I thought it was something other than 100 miles.
It has on the clock. It's done 30,000.
Ah, I was going to say.
So it hasn't done 100 miles?
No. 30,000 apparently. Yeah, I thought she was a bit edgy for 100 mile, even if it's stood in a wet shed.
Or thereabouts, 29,000 something.
How do you know that?
There's the service history's upstairs.
Ah, there you go, you see. Live and learn, don't you?
The news has not helped Derek's mood when it comes to British Leyland.
No, I respect all the cars, all the models and makes and models, and I've got a love for all of them, but it's just build quality is so bad, isn't it, really? And all the little nooks and crannies to go rusty, and poor paintwork, bad finish under the bonnet, under the car itself. They've got no hope, haven't they? No hopers.
Who's going to want that, mate?
Oh, that'd be all right. Someone will make up something of it, won't they? I mean, 30,000 miles still not high, is it? But 30,000 miles in that sort of condition isn't exactly exciting.
Inside, the other car that Dave picked up from Wolverhampton. A powerful modern classic with subtle styling cues.
Dave, it's a Golf.
No, John, it's not a Golf. No. That's a giveaway there. That bit there and that bit there.
And what does that give away?
That it ain't a Golf. That gives away the fact that it's an R32 Golf. 6 cylinders in there as opposed to 4.
Very understated, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't shout at you, does it? You know, it's not the Asbo. It's not like bright orange and loads of shouting, is it? It just does what it says on the tin without a load of fuss, really.
The R32 may be four-wheel drive, but off-roading usually happened when the driver lost it on a bend. There are many bashed-up examples on the market.
You look down the sides, it's all dead straight. There's no dings, there's no dongs. You know, gaps and all that are good. All the panel fits are good. There's no different shading. You know, the whole thing just shouts genuine and straight, as we called it in the trade, didn't it? 60-odd thousand miles. You know, you'd have to look at a lot to find one as clean and as straight as that. Really, really good car. Volkswagen Golf R32. Lovely, lovely car. So we've got some absentee bids. That's you, Will, at 9,750. 10,000 on the phone. 10,005.
10,750.
10,750 down here at 10,750. 11. 11,000. 11,000 with Claire at 11,000. 11,250 back with Sue at 11,250. 11,250 with Sue at 11,250. 11,005. 11,500. She just beat you in at 11,6. 11,7 with Will. 11,8 with Claire down here at 11,8. 11,9. 12,000. £12,000. I knew it would be a 12k car. At £12,000 with air on the telephones, fair warning. At £12,000, thank you all for your bids. 12,1. 12,2. 12,002 down here on the phones at 12,2. 12,003. 12,4. Good man. 12,004 down here on the phone at 12,4. At 12,400, thank you for your bids. Wrapping it up. Your bid, 12,400.
The car's heading south again to a lucky new owner in Kent. Dave buzzing after his accurate prediction.
You know when you get a feeling, just straight away, yeah, it just looked dead right. That car will be £20,000 in no time.
Which leaves the rather more reserved Triumph Toledo. Even after coming clean about its mileage, there were still quite a few inquiries.
Yeah, not too bad, yeah. A little bit of surface rust around it, but generally speaking, no, it looks real solid, the little thing, yeah.
Some even dared to ask if the engine turns.
That's a good question. Hang on. Oh! No, I don't think so, mate.
Not entirely surprising for a car that's been dormant for over 40 years.
Little Toledo, proper little car, bonny little thing. Start me on it. £1,000, £1,1100, 1,100, 12, £1,200, £1,200 and going then 12. £1,200 is the 13 anywhere, 30,000 miles apparently. Barn fine. Are you all done? 1,200. 1,200 only, 1,200.
It's the quickest sale ever, and the Triumph will shortly be off to Redcar. And the new owner plans to give this shopper's special the excitement it's craved for decades.
He wants it to turn into a little competition car. He wants to do some Targa rallies with it. I said to him on the phone, I said, well, it's too good for that. It's too good. But he wants to start with a solid one, which it is good. Good car, that. Yeah.
Following a busy old time with the auctions, vehicles are now starting to be shipped out to their new homes.
Are you sending someone today? Right.
Some eager to make their escape. Others are less enthusiastic.
You're not a fan of wooden cars, then?
No, not my cup of tea.
But one rare hot hatch has already successfully made its way down to Kent. The pristine R32 Golf is Colin Richards' newest acquisition.
The wife just looks and rolls her eyes that I bought another car and she can't quite work out why at the end of the day, but I've had a couple of them in the past, and as usual when you do sell them, you eventually regret selling them and you look for another one. But it then becomes more difficult trying to find the right example.
The car went through a dealer in Essex and cost Colin £15,500. It was a price worth paying.
It's completely original. It's not been modified. A lot of these cars do get modified over the years, and it's increasingly difficult to get the original parts for it to get it back to standard, which for me is very, very important. It came fitted with a Koenig seats as standard. The Osline wheels, which are really good to the car. And this has got the mix of Alcantara and leather seating inside, which I've always found wears better than the full leather seats.
Curiously, one of the first things a discerning hot hatch buyer will check is the parcel shelf.
It's not been cut to have speakers fitted. The original stereo system is still in the car, and all the key original bits are still with it. The car's good to drive. It's part-time four-wheel drive, predominantly front-wheel drive. The real sweet spot is the engine. It just makes the car for me. It's not your ordinary everyday shopping, take the kids to school type Golf. This is the performance version, the R version. You can look and see the twin tailpipes at the back. You see the R32 badge. It's the last of its line. There won't be any more 3.2 litre V6 put in small hatchback cars like that. It's not today's world. Everything's now turbo driven, we understand why. But that's a bit more pure. It's got a lovely sound to it when you drive it. It's got good power. It's got a nice driving position and a nice stance on the road, and it's enjoyable to drive. So at the moment, it's a keeper car.
Colin refers to himself as a caraholic. The R32 joins an Audi RS4, an AMG Mercedes estate, and this beast, a Nissan GTR.
I made myself a promise quite a few years ago that I'd get my bum in as many different car seats as possible, and I'm trying hard.
As for the hyper-conservative mid-70s Triumph Toledo, it's now 7 months since Michael Thornton decided to turn it into a rally car.
My kids probably just think it's another dad banger that he's wasting time and money on in the garage, and they can hear him blaspheming away while he's trying to supposedly enjoy himself. My partner, I think she just realises now what she bought into. There's a lot of classic car owners. You're always fancying the next challenge, and I fancied something rear-wheel drive, and I fancied something that I could build into a Targa regulation rally car.
Targa rallies consist of a series of stages on public and private roads with cars that you could legally drive to the shops. Vehicles can be modified, but there are limits in order to keep the events inclusive.
How did he miss it? I've always been a motorsport fan. I think I've always liked the flamboyance of it, the throwing the cars around and hurtling through forests and things like that. I don't really have any interest in the show and shine.
Michael already has a perfectly credible, high-spec Escort Mexico, but it's not a car that's cheap to build or maintain.
The Escort I use for like forest rallies, a bit like what you see in the World Rally Championship, where they do stages in forests and then they drive to the next forest and do another stage. For the price that I paid for that, I probably couldn't buy a pair of wings for this. I've always liked the shape of the Triumphs and the very basic mechanics. All in all, it was pretty solid.
That said, he's taking out a load of the Triumph components and swapping in some Ford bits.
We've now got RS4 spoke wheels on here, which belong to the Escort. In order to fit those, I've changed the back axle out on this. I already had a limited slip diff for it. And then you can see where I removed the chrome strips and all the little holes that's left behind. So I'll have to go along and weld all those up before the car gets painted. Front end there, I've now swapped the stub shafts from Triumph ones to a Ford one, which now means that I can fit a Capri hub, which means I can then fit vented discs and the Princess 4-pot calipers, which will increase the brake efficiency on the back significantly. When I got the car, the engine bay was blue and looked pretty scabby, so rather than taking the seized engine out the top, I dropped that out of the bottom, and then the 1500 engine that I got to replace the seized 1300 one, which is out of a Dolomite, comes with the twin carbs. That's fit back in now with the gearbox. So you can see from inside, I've stripped out all the seats and carpets, fitted aluminium firewall to separate the fuel tank from the cabin. I'm running the brake pipes and the fuel lines inside the car, so it removes the risk of them getting damaged. I'm in the process of fitting a hydraulic handbrake, currently fitting the electrics with the VIA standard isolator switch, so killing that switch would kill all the power to the car. The dashboard is a bit more grandad with the old wood veneer in there, so I think most of that will make way to some kind of flocked aluminium. We'll obviously have a rev counter in there that this never came with because it never went fast enough for anybody to be worried about the revs.
All in all, not quite what the Triumph Toledo was designed for.
It's probably going to be the fastest it's been in its whole life.
I think it's probably already resenting me, but yeah, the first time it starts getting brayed around some gravel track somewhere, it'd probably be asking for its previous owner back rather rapidly.
Meanwhile, down in Cambridgeshire, Alan Goetz has fulfilled a lifelong ambition to own a Ford Zodiac.
A car that you admired?
Of course.
Why?
Space, Mars and all this sort of thing. It was something for the future, something to be proud of.
And very American.
Very American. Beautiful motor, well produced, American style. We've got white wall tyres, chrome, deal colours, and it's got a straight 6 engine in it, so it's got a bit of power.
In the 60s, the Zodiac was definitely a bit flash. Exactly what Alan was looking for.
I was a singer in a rock band in those days.
What was your group's name?
Alan O'Dell and the Hawkers. We did all right at the time.
Alan had a Mini when he was on tour. It cramped his style.
I always wanted a vehicle to take the girls out with a nice long bench seat in the front. So to me, a Zodiac or one of those vehicles, or Zephyr, would have been ideal.
50 years on, his priorities may be different, but his passion for this rare Zodiac remains.
I thought that is something that's going to help me in my retirement to enjoy, to play with and to bring it up to a better standard. I mean, it's in first-class condition now, everything on it's original, but it needs a little bit of loving care.
Since he bought it, the car's been at a garage having work done on the gearbox and exhaust. When he got it back, another challenge lay ahead.
Of course, the gear change is on the column. For somebody a bit thick like myself, takes a little bit of working out how to use it.
And that process didn't go well.
The first time I drove it, I let the foot off the clutch and the door went and hit a cabinet I've got stationary beside the vehicle. So I have now got my lovely car with a bent door and a little bit of a bent panel there. Every time I walk past it, I nearly have a tear. I'm big enough to cope with it. A couple of weeks, I'm going to get that door fixed.
But we finally got there. We've got to the car that you always promised yourself.
Yeah.
You've got your bench seat.
I've got my bench seat. But I haven't got anything else to go with it.